Welcome to the Truth About Social Ads podcast, where we talk about everything related to social media ads and give you the truth about what's happening in the world of ads.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Truth About Social Ads, where we sit down with awesome entrepreneurs, brand owners, and marketers, and chat everything marketing and what brands are doing these days. Today, I'm super excited about our episode. I have our guest, Mara Smith. She's a former attorney, corporate strategist, and stay-at-home mom. Probably one of the hardest jobs there, right, Mara? Who is the founder of Inspiro Tequila. Mara began her legal career at a large firm in Chicago before joining the corporate strategy team at a Fortune 500 company. After her twins were born prematurely, Marla made a difficult decision to leave the corporate world and stay at home. She never stopped thinking about what was next. Mara always envisioned running her own company, and in February of 2020, she set out on her journey to create a new tequila brand. Mara, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, awesome backstory there, like super cool story. Yeah, would love for you to kind of just start with your background and former attorney, stay-at-home mom, and all that stuff. So yeah, dive right in and let
Thank
the audience know
you.
who you
Yes,
are.
I will. And by the way, no one ever would have predicted that I would be on a podcast about, paid ads and marketing in general at all. Because when
Yeah,
you hear my background, you're going
yeah,
to realize, there's a big missing gap in this, and that's her marketing expertise. So,
sweet.
um, yeah. So actually, my background is I got my CPA. I studied accounting, got my CPA, went straight to law school. Then took the big law firm job to pay off my law school loans. I had great experience, learned a ton.
Working
But after
like
a number of
millions of
years,
hours, I assume.
millions of hours,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And then I started contemplating having a family, and I'm like, there were at the time no female partners in my entire department, so I kind of didn't know how I was going to navigate having a family and
Got
working in
it.
a large law firm at that time. So I decided to go to the business side. So I left and joined McDonald's Corporation in their corporate strategy group. Um, that is the first time I actually kind of thought about entrepreneurship. I never had
Mm,
contemplated that before. I was like heads down, like how do you work your way up the ladder?
sure. Yeah.
Um, and all of a sudden we were studying consumer trends and insights, and I was like, oh, maybe I'd want to start my own company. And then it was a great experience, but nothing goes according to plan. I became pregnant with my oldest, who are twins. They're great. They both just graduated college last year.
Awesome.
But I ended up on emergency bed rest for 3.5 months. And
Oh,
so my corporate career came to a screeching halt because then I had preemie twins and I made the decision to stay home. I'm very fortunate I had that option, but nothing I ever foresaw in my future.
yeah.
And then had my third child 9.5 years later. So I was out of the traditional workforce, still working really, really hard for
Yeah.
over 16 years. Knew I wanted to start a company. I knew it was going to be a product-based company. Like I'd already been in service-based industries, and I was like, okay, I don't want to track my time anymore or any of
Dealing
that.
with customers
So
and clients and all that, like, that can be tough.
yeah, little did I
Yeah.
know, now I'd be dealing with 3 sets of customers. Um,
Oh, man.
but I said, I want to start a product-based company, and I knew it was going to be in food or beverage and something in the like kind of better for you category. I'm like a super consumer. I taste test everything, like literally everything you see on like Shark Tank's in my pantry. I love. My family's not happy about that. I just bought actually a really not great product that we have like now, and they only sell them in bulk. So I have like 4 huge containers of it.
Oh, man.
Um, but and I was thinking of ideas. I just kept coming back to tequila. So I'd been a tequila drinker for years. And I discovered that all of the tequilas I was drinking contained undisclosed additives. I had
Yep.
no idea
Yep.
that they put like sweeteners such as
Yep.
aspartame, glycerin coloring in tequila. I was
Yes.
totally unaware of that. I thought I was buying these like fancy, nice tequilas.
Right.
So it was that combined with also hearing from so many women that they are tequila drinkers. And I was like, okay, so I want something additive free, but I don't want it with like a lot of bite. I don't want it very harsh. I want it like
Mhm. Mhm.
really easy to drink and approachable. And how about this consumer? Like she's really significant. She makes the vast majority of all purchasing decisions in the store. 50% of tequila drinkers are female. So like, why are people focused
Wow, I
on
didn't
hers?
know it was that high.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And we know once it's in the store, like she's making over 80% of all purchasing decisions. So
Right.
it's like, why don't brands focus on this consumer? And they just never really market to women um when it comes to hard alcohol.
Yeah.
And when they've
True.
tried, it is not like wrong authentic. It's usually like, let's put in hot pink bottles, make it fruity flavored, and tell her like this is for you.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I think she's an educated consumer who likes really great craft quality, ultra premium tequila. And so that's kind of what I set out to do. And I thought if I was going to do it and speak to her authentically, we really need to have this built with a women's team behind it. So it was important to me to find a female master distiller in Mexico to bring the vision to life, which I did. And so we're distilled, owned, and led by an all women team, which
That's
may
awesome.
not sound that unusual, but in tequila, it's pretty
Tequila.
it's
Yeah.
kind of an
Oh, well,
anomaly.
I think in alcohol in general, all women team
Yes.
is probably pretty rare because I know we work with quite a few whiskey brands and we've ran ads for wine companies and all that. And actually, if I think back, I work with all dudes, like all guys. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe there's some people that work at the company who are female, but actually who are making decisions for the brand, it's all been men, I think, you know?
Yes. I'm usually yes, when we walk into rooms, usually, I'm one of few women.
So you went from a male-dominated career at being an attorney to a male-dominated career in tequila, you know? So who would have thought, you know? But well, it sounds like that's kind of your mission though, which is really cool. And like I said, I didn't know females were like 50% of like the tequila audience. I mean, my wife drinks tequila like, I do and our family members and stuff, that are females. But yeah, that's super interesting. So let me ask you a couple questions. So your sons that were born premature, identical twins?
Boy-girl twins. Boy-girl
I was
twins.
gonna say fraternal. Okay, so my dad's a
Yes.
fraternal twin as well. But that I wanted to and there you said they just graduated from college, which is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, so yes,
Any of them
they
going into
graduated from
law?
college.
Or are they
No, my daughter's going to med school,
sweet?
like, basically late summer is when it starts, and my son, already works in finance, but back in Chicago, so I'm very
Nice.
fortunate that I have everyone here, and then my youngest is in 8th grade, so I'm still
Cool.
in the thick of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I have a 7th grader, so I feel it. I have a 7th grader and actually one in college as well. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, cool. So, um, how did you land on tequila though? Like, you wanted to do a consumer-based brand, right? Something in maybe e-commerce, but like, how did and you explained like some nuances about the female portion of it and the additives and different things that are in tequilas, but like what was your light bulb moment that you were like, "I'm gonna do tequila," like, that's it, right?
Know that there's, like, this one light bulb, but to be honest, like, I'm a researcher. I don't think I'm, like, an impulsive, person.
Most women aren't.
So I don't think I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna like today
Yeah,
I'm starting a tequila brand." I think I was researching categories to see what
got
would
it.
make sense for me, and because I've been a tequila drinker, I I was only gonna do a product that I actually, like, enjoy. I'm not a
Right,
natural
okay.
salesperson where I was gonna, like, pull something and I'm gonna create something like I
Something you
live, like,
believe
a
in.
generally healthier lifestyle. I'm gluten-free, I'm dairy-free, all the things, so I'm like, I'm not gonna start, like, a cheese company, I had to, like, fit within what
Right.
I do. And I just thought there was some room for innovation. Now, I know there are a lot of tequila brands, but there are a lot of like so many things. And I thought here's an opportunity to maybe the innovation is based on your positioning and focusing on a different consumer or the innovation, in the product of making it like a very approachable with like a sweeter taste profile, but being additive free. So I just thought like basically just like you see a lot of other better for you brands, they take a whatever it is, a standard mac and cheese, and they put their twist on it and make it a better for you version, or like a typical cola and do a better for you version. I kind of looked at that as taking like what my peers are drinking, which we know is like a standard kind of celebrity tequila
Yes,
that most people have heard of and are
yes.
drinking. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's not going to taste as sweet because it's kind of not going to taste like it's like fake sweetener,
Right, right, right.
but if we take something that she already knows and come up with like just a cleaner version. I don't want to say alcohol is not better for you in any
Yeah, that's
circumstance, but like what would be a cleaner version that's still like really easy to drink, approachable, works in a tequila soda, ranch water. You don't have to mask it in like a big sugary cocktail. And so that's where I kind of saw that
yeah,
opportunity that would fit into my lifestyle. Cause like I literally only drink tequila and soda and
cool.
I don't
Yeah,
make drinks. Like I
yeah.
don't make cocktails.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same page. Like if I'm gonna have a drink, it's gonna be usually on the rocks, and the reason why I do that is because I don't want all the extra crap in there, right? All the the stuff that everybody adds, and I'm like, no, I just want pure. Plus, I like the taste, but yeah, that's interesting. I mean, and that's cool that you set out, and a lot of products like we had a guest on my last episode, and her brand's called Sweet Addison's, and they make you may want to check it
I
out.
have them.
Oh, you do?
I know
Oh,
them.
okay. Well, I just had her on the
There's not a
podcast.
brand. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
have, like, in my freezer, I have a number of her cookies.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, so I bought them as well, but they're it's cool, right? And I don't know if you know her story, but essentially she made that cookie and she started the brand because she had a condition, and she had to go gluten free and she wasn't sure what she needed to eat. She had this rare thing in her muscles. She used to be a D1 soccer player, had this rare thing in her muscles where she tried to run a marathon or started running a lot and couldn't, her muscles like atrophied and stuff. And it was this weird like disease that she had. But eating cleaner and making gluten free stuff and, you know, really helped her. And yeah, it's a cool story. Um,
Yeah.
but
I've been gluten-free for, like, before it was, like, popular and
yeah,
in
same
vogue,
with her. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and dairy-free, so it's been, like, many, many, many years. So now there are just more options out there. Before, like,
Correct.
fewer options, there's so many options now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you probably tasted plenty of something that tasted like cardboard in your day because back then there wasn't gluten-free stuff out there, you know? So, yeah. All right, awesome. So, and a lot of times brands start with this need, right? Of like, okay, I really want to make something healthier and taste good. So, I bought a bottle, can't wait to try it. And
I know.
yeah, can't wait to dive in. But so tell us about like your any marketing efforts that you're doing right now. I know when we jumped on, you were saying you had a meeting with your organic social side and all that stuff. Tell us about what's going on in the organic side. Like,
Yes.
are you posting a lot and all that stuff?
So, a lot of marketing efforts, and I'm not gonna say that I feel like I come up with ideas. The execution part is usually relying on some
Yeah,
small agencies, or we do some of these things internally, like our email. Um, that I have, my one person who handles sales and does the emails,
yeah,
which is kind
yeah,
of crazy. Um, but we try and do things like very small and scrappy. So I'd say, marketing wise, we've always had a social media presence. So
cool.
building that and doing organic social.
Yep.
I think that's a little difficult, in all honesty, for emerging brands because, um, and especially for alcohol brands, I feel like alcohol brands are maybe like a little bit suppressed as far as like if they're showing up and people are seeing them. What I work mostly on that I love doing to kind of build our presence there, I love like collaborating. I like doing collaborations and partnerships.
Cool.
Like we just did
Yep.
a giveaway yesterday with another woman owned brand is Golf Teeny that does all the golf wear. Like
Sweet.
that is what I like. And I usually am instrumental in like creating those, reaching out, finding other companies. Like I have a great network of female founders. So those are the kind of things like trying to like leverage other people's audiences there. I feel like
Great.
that's what we use it mostly for, like where people are gonna maybe where we can expand like kind of our presence a little bit. Um, Email has always been really important to me. Building that. I feel like followers are fickle, but email are like that's your community. So, and I think that's a really hard one to figure out the right way. How do you build that?
Hmm.
Like you can keep feeding great content, but like how do you build it? So now we test a lot of things. And that's what I'd say we do is we test a lot. I say what we have to get better at is figuring out a way to measure
Hmm.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
And because I love data, I'm like, I love a spreadsheet. I love data. We just don't have a ton of it. Like we don't have the time to kind of compile it
Right.
and analyze it. Um, but like we started doing like a referral program, for example, and win points to get things on email to try and get people to build that list, like right, because that would be great. So figuring out the ways we just hired a new agency because they said the pop-up doesn't convert as well. So we're trying a
Yep.
new
Yeah, that's
strategy
kinda
for
dead
that.
now. Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Um, so we're always trying to iterate. Like, I think that's the fun part. That's also the really hard part, right? So I'm
Yeah.
always like re-looking at thing. Well, now we heard that this came out and we should try this or whatever. Like, and I'm always open to that, especially because when you're a really small team and don't have like all like it's not like moving the Titanic to like, I worked at McDonald's, like it's get anything changed, right? Like we can be like super
Sure.
quick and flexible.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're always testing and trying new things. But I say like email, really important, significant to me to figure out how to grow that. Um and not just for conversion because it's a better conversion rate. Because we're not really a D2C brand, although it'd be nice to build it in some markets just to show, oh, look, we have consumers here who want us, and then we would go into like retail because we're much more retail
Right.
driven.
Right.
And so most of our marketing efforts are focused on like how do we drive to retail?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for us, there are a few ways. Like so now, if it's obviously there's always scans and discounts and things like that, Instacart ads. That's
Yep.
something we really been looking into and figuring
Yeah.
out how we can leverage those better. We're up against like really big brands, so just trying to figure out like where we could fit. I mean, I might be searching for like who knows? I might be buying on like a random keyword that is just going to get mom shoppers going to buy something they see tequila.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but figuring out the Instacart ads, POS. So now we're testing something because we're in a fairly big chain, Jewel Osco here in Illinois.
Okay.
And so we're doing these like big shelf blades, like, right. So
Cool.
basically aisle stoppers and seeing how
Yeah.
those can convert because like really getting people's attention. Do
Yeah.
people walk by? Does it grab their attention? So I'd say things that are like there, right there in store, including doing demos. And then, I think what we do differently is that we do a ton of events, but smaller events. Like
Got it.
I was at it's, 2 events already this week, Monday and Tuesday. So doing like things where I can be more hands-on, smaller professional groups. I'll do like tastings with banks or women's
Oh, that's
professional
awesome.
organizations or places where I can share the story more and have them try the product.
Sure.
I do a lot of that as opposed to big festivals.
Right.
So I feel like that's a kind of a grassroots way to do it and build. I'm hoping that I get like a little bit of a stickier consumer
Yeah.
that way. And the last thing I've always wanted to implement, we just need to trying to find a mom who maybe wants some part-time work and to dip her toe back into the workforce to run into someone super organized.
Yeah.
Because we would love to do a home hosting program,
Cool.
not like a multi-level marketing thing or anything, but just women
Right.
like who do women trust the most is their friends to introduce a product or like if
Yep.
they say it's great.
Yep.
So getting women who like really love the product already are purchasers to host their friends, have, Inspiro Tequila there, have cocktail cars for people to learn how to make a cocktail, like doing it that way, a more natural way to be introduced to products. So that's something that I've I always think that those people are going to be our like best advocates and like they're not like the traditional salespeople on the ground, but that they're going to really be impactful for us. So that's something I really been wanting to implement.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, that could be awesome too. I mean, even like you said, a lot of partnerships, like finding some women that can record some videos for you guys too. I think that would be cool. Use their audience to get out to more people. Or you were right. Organic is a bit tough. I mean, I would say 3 years ago, it was actually really good, but, if you're not running ads, organic can be a little bit tough. But like you said, the partnership thing works really good because you can utilize their audience or lean on their audience to open things up a bit, right? Which is a great idea. So
Now
kudos
I'm
to
gonna have
you
to do a
there.
cookie collab.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, if you want an intro, let me know. I can,
Please.
yeah, I can intro you.
I'm actually a purchaser. I'm a consumer. So yes, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, actually, you know what? So seriously, I will intro you to Addison. She's super cool. She's in the Dallas area. And yeah, totally. I'm more than happy to. I'll do an email intro.
We do a
Um,
lot of collaborations with sweets companies, which is like really fun
that's
and
cool.
interesting.
That's awesome. But yeah, and then I think the consumer side. Have you guys ever thought about running ads to like the local area where the stores you're in?
We have. I think that could be interesting if we could like really, really hone in on some zip codes.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
used my friend Claude and tried to come up
Yeah.
with like, based on what stores we're in, like trying to find where we have the most overlap, like
Yeah.
where it would be the best consumer base with overlap of us having at least like 2 stores from 2 different chains
Yeah.
there
Yeah. I know, like,
and
when
come up with the
brand
zip codes.
yeah, when brands come to us and ask us our opinion, because we work with, I told you that before, we work with quite a few, beverage brands, but, I always say, like, what are your biggest if we wanna run ads to a certain location, give us a list of your biggest sellers and we'll target, a radius of there, and their sales usually go up when we're running ads, to local areas where, is a certain liquor store that you're in, or a certain, store, just having people on their phones and then they're like, "Oh, I'm walking into the store. I might as well grab this," right? You know?
Right. And I think, for us, so there's so many regulatory issues in alcohol. So I would start it like in here, but like you have to list like in Illinois, at least you have to list 3 retailers. So you have to have 3 retailers listed at a minimum
Got it.
on those on
Yeah.
paid ads.
Yeah.
But even that's why I used AI to try and figure out like where do we have in what zip codes can I target because I can list 3 and there are 3 that are near them.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did to like narrow it down. But I do think it's interesting.
I mean, I do think too that you
To,
guys, I mean, I would seriously think about start cranking up that consumer base, like people going straight to your site. I mean, we do that for a lot of a lot of brands that didn't think that was possible. And once we started sending traffic to their site, like, purchases were coming in pretty regularly for them, and the consumer side of it. Although I know every brand wants to concentrate, especially when you're in the liquor industry and getting in stores. But if you could also have a big consumer side where people are going directly to the site, could really be an awesome revenue driver for you guys,
and that's interesting. So I'm curious about this because you're doing that and how effective it is. One, people are having like a party this weekend. They don't want to wait till next week to get it. Like you are kind enough to order and you're waiting to get
Yeah.
product. But I feel like every time I do events, I'm going to New York. We're not in the New York market. I'll be there tomorrow. Everyone's gonna say, "Where can I go buy you?" And when I say go buy online, they're kind of like, "Oh," like. So I'm curious how you found that to work well for that when people. It's usually like they don't think about what the alcohol they want for gifting. It's great, but they don't think about what they want to serve until it's kind of like almost the
Yeah.
time they want to
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, sometimes I think it kind of depends on how you're wording the ads. Kind of the FOMO portion of it too. Is works really well. Like, hey, have this at your next, weekend party or whatever. And we are in kind of an Amazon like mindset,
I know
so
that's the
a
problem.
lot. I think you'd be surprised on how many people would probably buy directly from your site. If you sent people there. When I ordered, um, I was very, I see the bottle on the website, but once I had it, like once I took it out of the box, I was like, oh damn, this thing's pretty sick. Like the actual bottle
Thank you.
itself was just, it's tall and skinny and it looks beautiful. Um, and it definitely does have like a female like quality to it, but like I wasn't shied away from that being
Right.
male, right? It still
It's not
looks,
like
like,
hot
super
pink or
cool,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Man, I can't wait to dive in." So, I think, you know, maybe just even testing it out for you guys, right? Like, maybe running some ads, and again, it doesn't have to be with us, I'm just saying in general, right? Running some ads to your site, and giving it a shot to see what people think. Leveraging some partnership ads as well, like having some moms or some females record
Like
a few videos.
UGC?
Yeah,
Okay, like doing
UGC.
using
Yep, like, "Hey,
UGC
guys,
to
I'm
run
making my,
ads.
my cocktail with vodka or I mean, not vodka, tequila, and soda, right? Like, this is what I'm doing some recipes." Recipes work really well too, like,
Okay.
like stuff like that. Um, this is why we found it, and having somebody talk on a video about like, "Hey, I support, this brand, because it's female run. I wanna support females." Like, that too is really cool. And actually Addison is kind of the same way. I think her company is all females as well. Um, except for her ad agency, which she has. But like, yeah, I mean, having kind of a story behind the tequila and the brand and getting consumers to believe in you as a brand, can go a long way in a video and in an ad, right? And send them directly to your site. So something to think about for sure.
No, I think those are great ideas. I'm
Yeah,
also curious, do you not find that paid is getting kind of suppressed? Like organic, like alcohol brands are generally like, I don't know, like there's something happening on
yeah.
the feeds where you're not like seeing them as much. I think there's some thing behind the vice category there. Is that not the same? You're not seeing
No,
that as
well,
far
so
as like
here's the
ads?
thing. You really have to be careful in the alcohol space with the type of ads and the type of images, even on organic social. Like if you have somebody with a drink close to their mouth, they're going to suppress it. But if you have somebody holding a drink and it's down here, it's fine. If you have the bottle sitting there, right, whatever, and you're grabbing the bottle, that's fine. Anything close to the mouth, or like you're handing a drink to somebody that's close to their mouth or whatever, it's going to get suppressed automatically. But if it's like a drink, you're holding it on the rocks or whatever, you're mixing a cocktail, as long as it's not close to the mouth, they're not drinking it, like that's totally fine. It won't be suppressed. And sometimes the AI, like in the actual platform, like Meta's got a lot of different AI signals that signals certain things that could be against their policy. So it could suppress some stuff. But like as long as you keep it away from the mouth area and there's nothing like and nothing pouring, right? Like if it's pouring into a glass, they'll suppress it for sure.
Interesting.
But if it's everyday natural like
But how about
life
doing a
and
cocktail reel? It's pouring in a cocktail reel.
well, kind of, but you're mixing in other ingredients, not just you're not just pouring it on the rocks and like going, "Hey guys,
Interesting.
let's drink this." You're mixing in mint or whatever you're doing, right? You're doing a bunch of other stuff, soda and, you know, however many things you wanna add in your
Got it.
but yeah, there's some nuances there that you really have to like watch out for, you
Well,
know?
then we definitely have to follow up with a discussion because I'm also wondering. I
Yeah.
think when we tried this before, like, what kind of budget you have to like make it effective when you're going up against like these like huge brands who are
Yeah.
advertising and you're a really
Yeah.
small emerging brand. Like, can you ever spend enough to make it like worth it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I totally hear you. Yeah, I mean, we run ads for some pretty small local whiskey brands that did really well online, and they weren't spending 100 grand a
well,
month. They were spending, 5. You know what I mean? And it also depends on your price point too. If you have a very expensive bottle, then you may have to spend more to acquire a customer. But if your bottle's reasonably priced, which I think yours is definitely, you can spend a little bit less, and people are more apt to try, a bottle that costs anywhere from 30 to 60, $70 than like 100 plus. You know,
okay, interesting. Yeah, we found
so
that range.
yeah, but again, I think your bottle's beautiful. I think just your presence, people will be attracted to an ad when they see it. There's a bunch of different things that you can do in an ad to make it look really, really cool, female driven, like all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you want to have a conversation, we could
And
sign up.
finding the right audiences to target,
Yes,
right? Like,
find the
I
right
think for
audience.
us, it's
Yeah,
like finding I probably would stay away from, like, the tequila connoisseurs or things like that, like, because there's plenty of tequilas pitching them, and are we
absolutely.
finding the women who are in life and, our health and wellness and
Mhm.
lifestyle or just, like I feel like we have to think out of the box a little
Well,
bit so
I
we're not
also think
competing right in that.
highlighting that your tequila is very clean is a huge deal these days. I mean, it's definitely gotten more popular over the last 3 or 4 years, but, like, highlighting that could be a huge game changer for you in an ad, in organic, like, I think, leveraging those partnerships with some women who have a decent following. Yeah, there's tons of stuff,
Okay,
that
I
we
love
can
this.
chat
Thank you.
about.
See,
Yeah.
you're interviewing me, and instead I'm interviewing you and getting all this information.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. Um, okay, so have you guys ever officially run any ads before?
We did, we did. We used to do, Meta ads, and we just did not find them, in all honesty, like, super effective. Like, maybe there's some traction, but we found the email conversion was way higher, and then
Yeah.
I really want and, like, we just I didn't think we could spend enough to get the, like,
That's a big
return that we
misconception.
needed
Yeah. Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. And were you driving, like, people to your website to purchase, or were you just, like,
We
more
actually built a landing page and everything for it. So
cool.
we even had a landing page. So it was something we tested because we had heard like, okay, you have to have a landing page. That's gonna be much
Yeah.
more effective. So
Yeah.
we did. Now I'd say, well, we've just focused the only like kind of money behind social has been boosting.
Got
So I
it.
heard there's now like people are boosting even just their profile, like just doing like to get people to the profile
Yeah.
to follow.
Yeah.
So we sometimes will put some money behind if there's a post that's
Okay. Yeah.
really good, or we found it really effective. Like we ran a giveaway with another brand, and we didn't think of this. They did it. They boosted the post beforehand, and then we collaborated on it. And like we got a lot more
Sweet.
giveaway people by
Yeah.
boosting.
Okay.
It.
Yeah, no, that's great too. I'm telling you, collaborations are great, partnerships are great, leveraging all that too. But yeah, I think your brand is definitely it stands out enough to make it noticeable in the news feed for sure. So good job on that. I mean, again, I think your bottle, the design on the bottle is super cool. But
I
um,
appreciate that. Was my mom and I drawing that back and
no
forth
way,
on a
really?
piece of paper and then coordinating with the bottle designer. Yeah, I'm like, I want it tall, I want it slender, I want it
That's
easy to hold and pour in
awesome.
the middle. I wanted
Yeah.
gradient paint. I had all these things. I had no idea how hard it was to actually like make the bottle, but I've just done all
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, actually, coming up with an idea and then executing on it can be two different things. But
Yes.
yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, Mara, it's been great to chat today. If someone wants to go buy your tequila, how do they do that?
Yeah. Please go to inspirotequila.com. Um, So INSPIRO tequila.com. Follow me on LinkedIn because I love LinkedIn, Mara
Sweet.
Smith, and follow Inspiro Tequila on at Inspiro Tequila.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we'll put all that in the show notes.
Thank you.
But I can't wait to try it. Want to try it this weekend,
I
and
can't wait to hear what you think.
I'll let you know. Yeah, for sure. But thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything
Thank
else
you.
that we missed or that you wanted to chat about?
No, I love that. I'm like, now I'm really intrigued and I'm going to like start, having to do deep dive into paid ads.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, thanks, Mara, for your time today. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
It was
Jason.
great having you on.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. We'll see you again next time. Be sure to subscribe to get future episodes.